And in chapter number 4, remember the verse we read, which says to us that God is looking for somebody who will worship him truly. God is looking for somebody who will worship him truly. God is looking for somebody who will connect with him truly. God is looking for somebody who will hook up with him and be on the same page with him. And he's looking for somebody who does not conjure up, somebody who does not manufacture, somebody who does not fabricate, but somebody who can hook up to him and worship him truly. God needs true worshipers. Now, before you tune me out, you need to understand the premise of the word true. The word true actually is the word emet. And the word emet suggests, get this, it correlates with Genesis chapter 2 verse 3. And in Genesis chapter 2 verse 3, it talks about the seventh day. It talks about after God had created everything that God created was good. And on the seventh day, God rested. The term emet is actually the word truth. And the word truth or the word emet from the perspective of God suggests this, what is called edification. And edification is where the creator of everything created, and then he expects his creation to complete everything that he created. In other words, God created the earth, but check this out. The earth, my brothers and sisters, has been entrusted in the hands of humanity and man for man to complete the creation process. That's why God said unto Adam and Eve, be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. That's why God said unto Adam, I give you dominion over the earth. I put you in control of the earth. This word emet, which is the word true, suggests that in God or through God, every man has been placed in them the ability, the creative instinct and ability to bring to fruition that which God has put in you. Which literally means that every person who walks upon the planet Earth and acknowledges God, acknowledges the headship of God, acknowledges the dominion of God, acknowledges the authority and the power of God. God has placed in that individual the ability for that individual, check this out, to complete and to fulfill that which has been placed within them. So anytime you get off of the course of emet, anytime you get off of the course of what God has placed in you creatively for you to do and become, then you're not living nor exercising the truth. Thereby you are not being what God would have you to be. God, my brothers and sisters, has placed in you when he, put you in the womb of your mother what he wanted you to be. The question is this: have you gotten off track? All right. And what many of us fail to understand is that emet, or the truth, correlates with worship. That's why many of us are incapable of worshiping him in spirit and in truth, is because we're off track. Many of us are not able to worship him in spirit and in truth is because we live such a life of deception and a life, my brothers and sisters, that is untruthful. That when it's time to be honest in worship, we cannot bring ourselves to the point of taking off the facade and worshiping him truly. That's why the Bible talks about hypocrisy. And the Bible suggests don't be a hypocrite, because you get to a point where it's not easy anymore anymore for you to take off one face and put on another. Eventually you get to the place where you're stuck in a rut with the same attitude, with the same disposition, with the same mindset, that when you come to church, you're not able to worship. That's why many people have come to church down to the years and have raised their hands at the right time, said amen at the right time, clapped at the right time. But look, over a period of time, they become incapable of switching masks. So look at you now. You come to church. You can't say amen. You look pitiful. You look sad. There is no joy. You can't open your mouth even when the truth is told. You cannot rejoice in the Lord because you're stuck in a rut of hypocrisy. And my brothers and sisters, God is looking for somebody to worship Him in spirit and in truth. The text today reflects such a situation. Here is a man, you're mindful of the narrative of the story beginning in John chapter 9, of a man that was born blind. Everyone here has heard the narrative of this man, how Jesus spit on the ground, took the spit and the mud, slapped it on the man's eyes, told the man, go wash in the pool of Siloam. First of all, this man is indicative of the fact that everyone who walks planet Earth from a physical or from a spiritual perspective, rather, is born blind. And sometimes, in order for God to get your eyes open, He's got to use things that to you are nasty. God has to use stuff like sickness. God has to use stuff like you losing your job. God has to use stuff like having someone in your family go to prison. God has to use stuff like having somebody in your family addicted to drugs. God has to use something like having somebody in your family because they've done wrong or because of other reasons, whatever situation, they're experiencing things that bring a sense of frustration in your family. Sometimes God got to use the nasty stuff to get your attention. But isn't it regrettable that we live in such an age right now that nasty stuff don't bother some of us no more? Some of us are so content in living in nasty stuff that we've forgotten what holy stuff is like. Some of us are so content in living in nasty stuff that being on drugs is okay. Shacking up is okay. Drinking and living a riotous life is okay. Not attending church is okay. Doing what you want to do is okay. Not respecting your elders is okay. Not getting an education is okay. Robbing and killing can be excusable. It's okay. There are those of us that are so stuck in a rut that nasty is ordinary. And we fail to understand that our worship, this man wanted to see. And whatever Jesus had to do to get in there, it was all right with him. You ought to see how y'all looking at me. Then this man Jesus knelt down on the ground and spit on the ground and made mud and slapped the spitting mud on the man's eye. Do that. Some of us, nowhere in the text does it say the man said, what you doing? Nowhere in the text does it say the man said, you got to tell me step by step what you doing. Can you imagine that scenario, if you will? Jesus said, I'm kneeling down, all right. Now I'm spitting. What you spitting on? Spitting on the ground. Okay, all right, you spitting on the ground. Well, do what you got to do. I mean, did Jesus say, I'm making mud? Can you imagine that? Jesus talked to me and said, I'm making mud. You making mud, all right. Now I'm going to put it on your eyes. Hold on. That's why the wheel run off the wagon. You ain't putting that nasty on me. No, where the text doesn't say that. Jesus told the man, go wash in the pool of Siloam. The man did what Jesus told him to do, and immediately, you're mindful of the narrative, the Bible said that people who had known the man and known that the man was born blind, they began to question the validity of his healing. They see that the man can see. They see that the man is healed. That ain't good enough for them. They don't want to rejoice with the man, but they want to be cynical toward the man. They don't want to be happy for the man, but they want to hinder and prevent the man's joy. They don't want to be excited about the fact that this man who could not see, this man that was born in this state, has now been delivered. They're not happy about it. So they began to call the man into account as to how this happened. We know that you were born blind. What happened to you? You know the narrative. The man begins to talk about Jesus. And actually what we see is we see a progression of this man's interaction with Jesus that eventually leads the man to a place of worship.